Hi, this is Chris. On this occasion, what I actually wanted to do was show a little bit more about using the controllers on my little Nektar, which are actually the same 8 kind of controllers that are mapped through to all of the different DAWs on the market. And on this occasion, what I've actually got is the plugins that actually come with the Impact LX Mini, the LX Plus, etc., the T-Series panoramas and the GXPs and stuff. And the included Cherry Audio plugins, I absolutely love them. I think they're such a great sounding set of emulations of the real things. The Octave Cat and the PS20, which is a MS-20 emulation, and the Mercury 6, which is a Jupiter 6 emulation. This other one that I'm looking at now is called the Dreamsynth. And the Dreamsynth is a bit of a combination of different bits and pieces, and you can work out for yourself what they're emulating here. But the Dreamsynth is basically a couple of different layers, like a couple of 3 oscillators and then a string synth, etc., which you can split and dual and all that sort of stuff. So it has some great performance capabilities. What I'm doing here is I've put it in on my screen. You can see it's been put into a Combinator in Reason, and I really enjoy working with Reason simply because it's the flexibility of being able to map the controls that I want to actually record in real time, etc. And on this particular model, what we're talking about is I'll open the Dreamsynth, and you can see on screen the complexity of what's going on. You've got your 3 different oscillators up there, and you've got envelopes for filter and amp, your filter section, a separate string section, and then you've got your LFOs and other bits and pieces with your synth voice, and you've got some effects along the bottom. So you've got distortion, phaser, modulation, delay and reverb, which means you can come up with some pretty amazing stuff. And what I'm going to do is now the Nektar keyboards with their 8 knobs are always pre-mapped to, in the Combinator, to the 8 knobs. So as soon as you actually mess around with anything, it actually works the knobs. So your job is to actually figure out what parameters you love the most to actually work with. And in the case of Dreamsynth, I generally try to stick to the things that are labelled on the LX Mini. Keep in mind that if you're messing around with monotone or any of the other the plugins that actually come with Reason, a lot of these functions are all pre-mapped, so the cutoff and resonance and things like that are already there. For me, what I'm actually going to do is go into the editor and add a few bits and pieces to it. So if you have a look there, what we actually have is 4 knobs and the switches, but what I want is 8 knobs. So what I'm going to do is click there and make 8. And while I've added those other 4 knobs, what I have to do is switch the size over so that those other 4 will fit. So what we're going to do, whoops, that was my hand hitting the key and playing us a little note. So as you see, as I'm dragging them along, what it's actually doing is it's lining up the knobs so you can actually set them quite well, and you can see them there. And you'll notice that I've actually picked just a light blue color for the moment, just to actually allow me to get these things set up. But once I've got those 8 knobs sorted out, it means that they're all actually set up now. So all my 8 knobs will do whatever I want them assigned to. And so I'll just start with, I won't do this in any logical order, but I want to get 5 and 6 sorted out, because 5 and 6 are going to be my cutoff and resonance. And so if I grab, go through these groups, and if you have a look, all the parameters of Dreamsynth actually come up in front of me. And it takes a while to get through all the oscillators, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is set off cutoff frequency and also resonance. And that basically means that I've now got the ability to real-time control my favorite things. So I've set those 2 up. Now what I can do is I can just go over and you'll have to excuse my hands crossing over the keyboard because I've just got my laptop in front of me. But I'm going to do cut off, and I'm going to go resonance. And that basically means that I now have those 2 lined up. Now what I could do is I can keep going and adding all the other things, envelope amount and all that sort of stuff, control of the notch, etc., assign switches and do whatever I want with it. But that's how easy it is. You can just select a knob that you might want to actually do something with, and I don't care about doing them in order, because once you've done it all, these controls are all set up to do whatever they want, and you don't see this list again. And so what I can actually do is do things like pick whatever I want from my oscillator 1, which might be, for example, the actual tuning, or the octave or something like that. So what I can do is, if I select something like that for Control A, so that's one of the 2 voices in oscillator 1, and it's going to control the octave. So I can just write octave A, and I now have that one available to me, so I can actually create the great part about all of this stuff is once you've actually selected like a nice reverb or something like that, everything you do sounds good because it just bounces around for ages and ages and ages and gives you a lot of fun. Now, for me, I'm a little bit pedantic about artwork, etc. So what you can do in the Combinator is you can actually create your own artwork. And that basically means that when I start messing around with these things, what I do is there are templates that size templates that you can download from the Reason Studios website, and or one of their forums or something like that. I can't remember where I got them from, but it was ages ago. And I use Keynote all the time for actually creating my own artwork. I put up the basic shape of the template, and then I drop in the artwork that I want. So what I've actually created is I've created a little template there for a Combinator for Dreamsynth. And it just basically means we can move stuff around. This is a very quick one. I've got a more complicated one that I've actually done in the past, but on my studio system. And what it means is I go back into config here, and where it says backdrop, I can actually load whatever I want. Oh, there it is. So I'll grab that one there on the desktop, and I open that up. And what it actually does, it opens up on the screen there, but obviously that's a little bit small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that a 4-unit one. And once I've actually done that, then I can grab my different bits and pieces and drag them to wherever I want them to be to make up my Combinator artwork. And so, for example, I've just moved all those down so they'll be in line, but what I'll do is move that one. Not sure what all the functions are yet, we've only done a couple, but I can drag these things around any way I want. And of course, once I've actually done that, then I can grab that and say I want the scale to be light and I want the text color to be light. And obviously that's going to look a lot better in there now. So I can keep lining up the parameters that I want, lining up the functions, put them where I want to put them, and then I've got... I'll do my cutoff there so you can see it. And so now what I've actually got is my cutoff. And so I can have a lot of fun with all of these things, create my own artwork, customize it to suit myself. And that just means that especially with these Cherry Audio plugins and stuff like that, when you're working with the Nektar controllers, it doesn't matter which one you're using, as long as it has the 8 knobs, they're all automatically mapped to the 8 knobs that I've created in the Combinator, and all I have to do is assign how I want them to work, and then I can actually create whatever I want. And the other cool thing, obviously, with working with Reason is if I start recording, it means that any of these parameters I play with become automated, so that I can create some functionalities within the program, and it will actually happen that way from then on. You can see on screen, my parameters on screen will allow me to do that sort of thing where I can actually switch on and switch off my metronome, put it into record, turn on and turn off my looping. I have currently a 4-bar loop, so I'll just run with that. But what I'm going to do is close up the editor for the moment. You won't. I'm not going to bother finishing it at the moment. But what I'll actually have is the ability to, as I said, just do a bit of a... And these parameters will actually... And if I stop that and show you the sequencer, you'll see that it has created... the basic notes, couple of notes that I played, and all of the automation that I've just recorded, just messing around with them. This is just basic. I'm sorry, I'm not going to create an amazing piece of music. I just wanted to give you an idea of how these things work and how easy they are to actually create the automations, especially in Reason, and get everything flowing and moving and all that sort of stuff. The ideal synthesis technique. Thanks for listening.